Hello, army lovers, owe you today. Why is this house called a palace? Jungkook's answer left the world speechless. Because he's poor. No one expected that behind the gentle smile of a global idol, hidden the answer that stopped the world. The simple statement that came out of the lips of Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, became a tsunami of emotions that shook the hearts of millions of people. A house, which is touted as a palace, is a hot topic of conversation, not only because of its luxury, but also because of the reasons for its construction. And who was at the center of the whole dream? When the public first saw the aerial view of Jungkook's new home spread across Korean and international media, people were speechless, fascinated by its splendor. One part of the house looks like a botanical garden, the other resembles a gallery of contemporary art. But that's not what made this news viral. Jungkook said in an exclusive interview with foreign media, "This is not my home. This is a palace for someone who once lived in misery because of me." One sentence was enough to make the soldier's tears fall without warning. Not because of the luxury of his house, but because of who Jungkook was referring to. In a pause of heavy breathing, he stared towards the ceiling and added in a trembling voice, "I woke everyone up because he once slept in the cold." The public exploded. Social media was flooded with snippets of the quote. The hashtag #IstanUntukIbu was trending in 37 countries in 3 hours. The whole world is speculating. Who does he Jungkook mean? But the real fans knew the answer even before the confirmation came. Because there is only one person behind the story of the struggle of a Taekook boy who goes to Seoul for a dream. A boy who brings only faith and tears, and that person is Jungkook's mother. Speculation exploded. Korean media began to unpack property documents, construction plans, and home renovation cost records. It was revealed that the construction of the Jungkook mansion did not use architects from any agency, but the services of an independent architect with one condition. All the facilities in the house should be able to support the comfort of an elderly woman, her mother. From a private elevator for easy mobility, a meditation room, a rose garden with her mother's favorite varieties, even a kitchen with a redesign that mimics their childhood kitchen in Busan. And when asked why he built this palace secretly without involving the media or fans like other idols who often show off houses, Jungkook replied, "Because I'm not building an image. I made amends." The statement triggered a reshuffle. Many new fans unaware of Jungkook's past are digging back into old archives. Footage from Jungkook's workout days. Footage of fans catching him sleeping in a workout room in the same hoodie for days on end. Even stories of his childhood not having enough money to buy his favorite food all went viral. Jungkook once told me in a live broadcast that they used to only eat ramen with half a dose of broth powder to save money. Once his mother secretly ate only rice and salt so that Jungkook could eat a whole egg. "I saw my mother endure hunger so that I could grow. Now I want him to never feel hungry again, even with love." The sentence made headlines on various international news portals. It doesn't stop there. Reporters began interviewing old neighbors of the Jungkook family in Busan. One of the neighbors' aunts said, their house used to leak. When it rains, water comes from the roof. But his mother still told Jungkook to learn to sing in his room while sitting on an old blanket. He never stopped encouraging his son. And it turns out that was the starting point for why the new home was called a palace. Not just because of its size or alleged value of more than $7 million, but because every part of the house was a dream that Jungkook's mother once could not fulfill. The main room does not use a modern contemporary style like other artists' houses, but a semi-traditional Korean style. Because the mother once said as a child that she dreamed of living in a house with wooden floors and surrounded by vegetation. Even the exterior wall paint of the house was bone white and beige, the same colors as the curtains of their first rented house. When the media asked, "Why didn't you buy this house for yourself?" Jungkook smiled bitterly and said quietly, "I've been living in a comfortable place, but I never felt like a queen. So this time, I'm not the star." The moment became the culmination of an interview that has been watched more than 70 million times on online platforms. Comment after comment floods with tears. Many parents claim to be touched. Many young people admit to crying from being touched. Many even admit that now they have a new dream. not to get rich in order to show off, but to get rich in order to return maternal love, but not all responded positively. A number of netizens commented sarcastically, saying Jungkook was just looking for sympathy. But hardline fans countered with facts that the house was built without announcements, without sponsors, without YouTube content, and even without a variety show. It was precisely HYBE who seemed to want to cover the project of this house, fearing that it would be too private for public consumption. One of HYBE's former staffers, who declined to be named, told the media that the house project was Jungkook's only personal project that did not involve the agency at all. He used a small contractor who came from his own hometown. Even the main furniture was ordered from local craftsmen in Busan who used to know him since childhood. HYBE's side issued only a brief statement as public pressure mounted. We respect our artist's decision to keep her family life a secret. But the public response was unstoppable. Even the people around his new home began to feel amazed not because the house was big, but because Jungkook remained humble. One of their new neighbors said, "Every morning, he watered the plants. He greeted us politely. Not a single camera. He was just a child who wanted his mother to live in peace." And from there the term palace began to cling. This palace is not because of gold and crystal, but because there was a queen who was finally treated as she should, a mother who was once willing to live hard, willing to work double, and even once sold secondhand goods just to increase her son's exercise money. When interviewed again by Time Korea magazine, Jungkook repeated again in a low tone, "I don't build houses. I build forgiveness. Because I once said to my mother, why should I go far from home for a dream that doesn't necessarily work? And that night, I just said, because you're not an ordinary kid. You're going to make it." Now, the boy really succeeded. But he didn't forget. Not forgetting who pushed him at a time when everyone didn't even know him. Do not forget who wiped his tears without knowing that one day the child will be known to the world. This house, or rather, this palace is not a symbol of wealth, but a symbol of redemption and mercy. It was built from grief that cannot be wept, from the promise in the heart of a child who used to be able to see only the night sky from the narrow window of a rented house. And now, that sky could be seen from the magnificent balcony by a mother who now sits on her throne in the middle of a palace built from the love of a child.